Hello and welcome to my another brand new tutorial on Spring Boot Data JPA, where I'll show you how to do one-to-many mapping. In this demo, I'll be using S2 database. So let's start. We'll go to start.spring.io and we'll select Maven from the project Java Spring Boot version as 2.7.12. We'll name the project as Spring Boot one-to-many. Click on dependencies and we'll select web, then JPA, then S2 database. Now I will click on generate. So this will generate this project in a zip file. So let's wait. I'll go to downloads folder and I'll extract this here. I will come back to Eclipse and I will import this project in my Eclipse. So I'll click on finish and this will import the project. Here you can see the progress in this Eclipse workspace. Now all the dependencies are being downloaded. I will open this project, go to pom.xml file, and here we can see what are the dependencies that we added on the Spring initializer page. So it was starter data JPA, starter web, and S2 database. Coming to SRC main Java folder, we'll try to create few packages first. So one package will be for controller. One package where I will put all my entities, and one for the repo layer. Now I will start with entity. So I will show you a demo where there will be a one-to-many relationship between employees and vehicle. So one employee object can contain a list of vehicle objects. So I'll click on new, create class, employee. I will mark this class with @entity annotation. It will be having a property AMP ID, string name, age, and I will directly create one more property, that is a list of vehicles. List of vehicles. The list will be imported from java.util package, and I will create the vehicle entity also. Let me mark this field emp id with @id annotation. So every entity must have one ID at least. Generated value and vehicle, insert vehicle also. I'll mark this class with @entity annotation. It will be having a property called private vehicle ID and private string name, vehicle name. I'm annotating this vehicle ID with @id annotation and @generated value, so that the IDs are generated automatically. I will create few getters and setters. Alt Shift S, and here also Alt Shift S. It is shortcut to bring this context menu. Now there is a direct annotation called @one-to-many. I'll put it over the list of vehicles, and it will take parameters, target entity, so it will be vehicle.class, and cascading. So I am marking cascading is cascade type.all, and then I'll annotate also with join column. So name will be emp underscore id, and the reference column is id, sorry, emp id. Okay, so this one is this one, and this will be created inside the vehicle table. So by this annotation, using these two entities, we will be having two tables. One will be employee table and the other will be vehicle table. Employee table will be having columns emp id, name, age, only three columns, and in the vehicle we will be having vehicle id, vehicle name, and this one emp underscore id, and the value of the column emp underscore id in this table, vehicle table, will be this one emp id. So this will act as a foreign key in the vehicle table. emp id will act as a foreign key in the vehicle table. I will show you once this coding is complete. Mm. Now I'll go to repo. I'll create two repositories since there are two entities. It's, sorry, it will be interface employee repo, and other one is vehicle repo. I will extend here JPA repositories, vehicle, and data type of ID is integer. That's it. I'll copy this in this repo also. This will be having employee identity. So that's it. And now I'll be creating controller class. I will name it as controller, app controller. I will mark this controller class with @rest controller annotation and also with @request mapping. I will give a path at the class level also. So this is the path employees. Now I'll be creating few endpoints here. So I will create a method public employee save. I'll mark this with @post mapping, and the path will be /employee. I will import this employee class also. Now I'll auto wire the repositories. I'm not creating any service class here. Okay, and I'll copy this emp repo.save. Since this is a post mapping, I'll definitely receive a request body. And after saving, I'll return this emp obj. I've created a post mapping. Now similarly, I'll create a git mapping also, public, which will return me a list of employees that are in the DB. Name it as find all, emp repo.find all. register. So this will be annotated with @get mapping, and the path will be /all. So our get mapping is also completed. Let me create one more get mapping, one more endpoint here. So using this endpoint, I'll show you, demonstrate you uh, one how to use query annotations in the repositories, and also how to use joins in the HQL. Mm, Okay. So I'm renaming the function name, and let's create this. Okay. Add query. There are things to change here. So I'm changing them. So the HQL will be select emp dot, and what is the name here? Emp dot name, comma, veh dot vehicle name from employee emp, or at join emp dot vehicle list. I'm taking the reference here to take the reference of vehicle list, and then the alias veh. So emp name. So I'll get suppose one object has two one employee has two vehicles. So it will come first the employee name like ABC, then the first vehicle name, then ABC, and second vehicle name. And in this case, what I'll do is I'll create one method, one DB response type, which will only contain those two fields: private string name, private string vehicle name. Name and vehicle name. Let me copy this and check. And I'll do alt self test, generate getters and setters. Alt self test, generate constructor using superclass, and one constructor using fields. So in this case, uh, here I'll modify. I'll name it as DB response. I'll copy the class name. And here I'm calling the second constructor, the constructor using parameters DB response, but I'll have to give a fully qualified name here, like this one. I think this is done, but it is returning a list of DB response. So that's it. Now I'll have to change the return type here also. So I've changed this also. And I think we're done. Let me enable JPA repositories here. At enable JPA repositories. And since I'm using H2 database, I'll try to show you H2 console also. I save it. Let me change few things here. Now I go to this file and click on run as Java application. So the server is started here. on port 9090. Now I'll go to Postman, and here I'll change it to 9090/employees/employee, and I let's create an object. So our object is employee class. Basically it has emp id, name, age. I'll create an object emp id, I'll name it as Vijay. Sorry, this would be name. emp name id will be automatically generated. Age is 30, and name and age, and the list of vehicles. So I have to provide a list of vehicle. Name is vehicle list, and it's an array of vehicles. So it is vehicle ID and vehicle name. So vehicle, I'll just provide vehicle name because ID will be automatically generated. And Vijay has suppose two vehicles. One vehicle is suppose the bike is Extreme. The other vehicle is Tata Tiago. If I click on send, it should save this object. Click on send. So it's okay. I'll have to change this to post, and you see the name is coming as null, but other things are getting saved. Also, the employee ID is 1, vehicle ID started with 2, and vehicle and the other one is started with 3. So first I'll have to check why name is coming as null here, because I think the employee is using name, not emp name. So I need to change this object to name, and yes, and since this sequencing, I'll to check this sequencing. See, the sequencing is not correct. emp id 1 is starting with 1, but vehicle ID is starting with 2. So to fix this, I need to provide a strategy here. Strategy. I'll use the strategy as generation type dot identity, and similarly in the vehicle also I'll put same. I will restart this application. So the application is getting restarted. Now the application is started in 7 seconds. I'll go to Postman again. I'll click on send again. So you see object is getting saved. Now employee is getting started with 1, and also vehicle is started with ID 1. I'll change the object now from Vijay to Ajay. Ajay is 31 and he has an FC, and it is Maruti. So, and I'll put one more object, Sanjay. Sanjay is 32 and he has Pulsar, and he has Toyota. Okay, click on send. I will go to S2 database, click on connect. So you see the employees are getting generated. Employee ID is getting generated sequentially 1, 2, 3, and Vijay, Ajay, and Sanjay are also populated. I go to vehicle class, click on now. The first time we send it was Extreme with Tata Tiago. The second time, the second employee ID was having FD with Maruti, and the third time Sanjay is having Pulsar and Toyota. Now, if I need to see the other endpoint, click on send. I'll get 3 objects. The first one, the second one, and the third one. Right? 3 objects are there in this list. Also, there is another mapping in the controller, endpoint in the controller, all mappings. So if I go to all mappings, click on send. So it will show us that Vijay is having extreme and Vijay is having Tata Tiago. So it's like this. So the name of employee name and vehicle name. So it's coming like that only. Vijay with Extreme, Vijay with Tata Tiago, Ajay with FZ, Ajay with Maruti, and Sanjay with Pulsar, and Sanjay with Toyota. So this is returning a list of DB response. So that was it. In a short, if you want to do a one-to-many mapping, you have to create two entities, employee and vehicle, and it should be has a relationship with one having a list of the other. So employee is having a list of vehicles. You have to mark this with at one-to-many annotation with annotation one-to-many, and you'll have to create two repositories also, two repo interfaces, and that's it. Nothing else is required. Two entities and two repos with few annotations like one-to-many and add join column. These you have to remember. Also, to use a join column, join, you have to follow this approach only. And you can use add query annotation. You can basically use a native SQL query also. In that case, it goes something like this: name equal to this, and it will take a native something equal to native query equal to true. And then here, instead of writing an HQL, you need to write select star from EMP, where in order to change this to a native query. So that was it. That's it for today's demo. Thank you for watching. Please like if you like this video, please like and subscribe my channel also. Thank you.